And my mic was muted. So I was just saying, good evening, good evening, good evening. You didn't miss anything there. So good evening and welcome to Connect DC's October 2022 full moon meditation. Tonight, I am coming to you from the ancestral lands of the Piscataway people. And as a member of an earth honoring tradition and a person of European descent, I feel it is important for me to acknowledge the often brutal history of settler colonial history in the United States and to give gratitude to the communities the indigenous communities who have tended this land since time immemorial and who continue to do so. I offer respect to the elders, past, present, and future, and I honor their truths. I just like to breathe and ground into that for a moment, that contextualization of where we're standing, both in time and in space. So I'm Angela Raincatcher, and I'm the convener for Connect DC. Connect DC is a Wiccan-based public ritual group in Washington, DC. We provide a spiritual home where the community can come together to observe and honor the cycles of nature and life. This year, Connect DC is rooting our rituals in the soil of our embodied experiences so that we can nurture and strengthen healthy and loving connections as we grow within our communities and within our lives. And part of that work is with the full moon meditations. And actually, the full moon is tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon at 4:54 p.m. Eastern Time. But I try to schedule our full moon meditation together just before that to catch the wave of lunar energy as it builds towards fullness, and then release that energy at the zenith out into the universe. I'm not always successful at scheduling that way, but we do what needs must when we have to. But we were successful this month, so yay us. This month's full moon is in the astrological sign of Aries, the ram. And Aries is a very headstrong, go get 'em energy. It is the energy that pushes through seemingly impenetrable odds towards manifestation of one's dreams. So when things look like to everybody else, they're going, I don't think she can do that. And your energy is like, yeah, I can. You watch me. That's Aries. Now, when both the moon is in Aries and you know what you want to go after, you can feel unstoppable. And you've got all that power and that will and that energy behind you. This is a tremendous energy to use at the full moon to proclaim your desires and to activate your will to go for them. However, when the moon is in Aries and you don't have that intention to direct the energy, you can feel restless, frustrated, and get into all sorts of arguments and fights just because that energy has nowhere to go, nowhere productive to go. You can almost feel like you're just like sizzling. So tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to explore what we want, and we're going to set some intentions based on the 5 points of the pentacle, and using the key phrase for Aries, which is I am. I am. Now, for now, all you need, oops, I just went a little bit forward in my script, my bad. All you need is a piece of paper and a writing implement of some type. So pen, pencil, crayon, I don't care. Just some type of writing implement. Okay, I have a pen. Later, after this meditation, you will need a lighter or a match and a fire-safe container. Now, what I use in my magic working is just an old loaf baking pan that I no longer use for baking. It's not pretty, but it does the job. And a cork trivet. So I just set that under the pan so that I don't, burn the house down or anything. So don't think that you have to have anything fancy. We just want you to be safe. Now, before we do a short meditation, I want you to draw on your piece of paper, and I hope you've got your piece of paper and your pen already. I want you to draw on your piece of paper a 5-pointed star, and I'm going to actually show you right here. Let me see. Let me do this so that you can see those words better. Just draw a 5-pointed star on your piece of paper, and then label the points as I've shown here. So going around from the top, I'm going to go around clockwise here. The top point is spirit and authenticity. The next point is water and connection. And you can see I'm actually doing this myself. So spirit, authenticity. Pretend like you know how to spell that, because I don't half the time. Water and connection. And then that bottom right point is fire and courage. And continuing going around clockwise, that lower left point is earth, success. And then keep going, and you've got air and competence. And again, we're going to pretend like I know how to spell that. All right. Now, I'm going to just show you here. Let's see here. I'm going to show you here my beautiful art here. And you can see it doesn't have to be, you know, even or beautiful or anything like that. Just so you got your pentagram and your 5 points labeled here. Now you're just going to want to keep that close to you. Keep that and your pen close to you, because during this meditation, you're going to be doing some imagining, and then you're going to be writing some stuff down. Okay? All right. Okay. So we are ready. And the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to create some sacred space around us. And there are many different ways that you can do that. You can be really elaborate or really simple. Usually when I'm doing this kind of work, I keep it really simple, because this is just very like straightforward. I don't want to make a big hoo of it. But you should do what makes sense for you and do what works for you. So if what works for you is casting a full circle and calling in the elements and calling in, you know, your helpers elaborately, you should do that. But what we're going to do here together tonight is a very simple thing. And so what I normally do is I'm going to invite you to close your eyes for just a moment and just turn your attention from everything that's outside of you. Turn your attention, fold it in to the inside of you. And a lot of times when I do that, I find my attention turns down and inward into my heart. And just bring your attention to your breathing. You may hear the sound of your breath as you inhale and exhale. And then I send my attention down to my feet. And as I breathe, I open up the bottoms of my feet, and I just allow my energy to blend with the energy of the earth. I establish a connection with the earth. And then as I breathe, I draw up that earth energy into my body. And just imagine all of that energy from the earth flowing up into your body and filling you up. And then I bring my attention to the top of my head. And I imagine the top of my head can open up. And because we're working with the full moon tonight, I'm going to call to the energy of the full moon. And I'm going to draw that down from the moon into the top of my head. I'm going to establish some relationship with it. And then I'm going to breathe it into my body. I'm going to breathe in the energy of the full moon into my body and let it flow down. And as it flows down, it really begins to mix and mingle with the energy of the earth and your own personal energy. And then when you feel that you are all filled up, I want you just to take a notice around you. You could visualize or imagine that all around you is a shell, like an eggshell. A giant eggshell all around you. And you might want to breathe all of that energy of the earth and of the moon, breathe it into that eggshell, that shell that's around you. And if you have any helping spirits or helping gods or goddesses that you like to call in, just take a moment and call to them from your heart. Ask them to be with you while you do this work. And if you don't have any particular gods or deities or spirits that you work with, just call to your bright and blessed ancestors, the healthy and the whole. Call to the parts of you that are eternal and have your best in mind always. Just take a moment to see how you feel in your personal sacred space that you've created here. I'm going to say something that comes from a variety of traditions, that the circle is cast and we are between the worlds. And what happens between the worlds affects all of the worlds. So mote it be. And in the back of my head, I could actually hear you all say, so mote it be, just a moment after I did. So thank you. I see some of you have said hello. Happy to see you. It's so good to see you all here too. So yay. I'm so glad that we're able to share this virtual space together. Okay, so if you are in a place where you are comfortable and feel safe to do so, I'm again going to ask that you just soften your eyes. You don't have to close them totally unless you want to, but just soften your eyes. Tune back into your breath. And I want you to imagine yourself standing at the top point of a large pentagram inscribed in the ground or on the floor. So I'm going to put up that image of the pentagram again. And so imagine that you are standing there in the point that is labeled spirit. And if you can, just imagine that you can see the paths of the pentagram coming out and taking shape on the floor beneath your feet. And now together we are going to turn slightly to our right. And we're going to walk down the path from the spirit point down to the earth point. And just imagine yourself walking down that path from spirit to earth. And when you get to the point, when you get to the earth point, I want you to take a moment to breathe. And say out loud, I am successful. I am successful. And allow your inner self to bring up images and thoughts and sounds that to you defined what it means to be successful. What does success look like? What does it feel like? What does it sound like? What does success feel like to you? And sometimes you can even write some I am statements. So this is where once you've got some images coming up, just take your pen and just really quickly jot some stuff down. Jot some stuff down, or maybe do a little sketch. Just take a moment. Just write a few things down next to that earth point, and I'll show you what that looks like on mine. So it doesn't have to be neat. This is not going to win in competitions. I am successful. Just take a moment to breathe that in. I am successful. So mote it be. And now you're going to turn and walk down the next path of the pentagram. You're going to walk from the earth point up to the water point. So from the earth point up to the water point. And when you get to the water point, take a moment again to breathe and tap into the energy of water. And water can mean so many different things. It can feel like so many different things. But tonight we're going to focus on connection. And so I want you to breathe in and using the Aries phrase, I am. I am connected. I am connected. And heck, for good measure, let's say it a third time. I am connected. And as your inner self brings up visions and sounds and feelings of what that means, take a moment to, again, just jot that down on your paper. And when you've jotted a few things down, just take a deep breath in. And let's say it again. I am connected. Just breathe that in. So mote it be. And now we're going to turn. And again, we see that path of the pentagram on the ground beneath our feet. And we're going to walk from the water point to the air point. From the water point to the air point. We walk to the air point. And when we arrive, take a moment just to breathe the air and feel the breeze all around you. And again, the air has many different aspects to it, but tonight we're going to focus on competence and feeling competent, feeling like we are able to do what we want and need to do. And so take a deep breath in and let's say it 3 times. I am competent. I am competent. I am competent. And take a moment to allow your inner self to pull up what that means for you. What does it look like? What does it feel like to be competent? What are you competent in? What are the things that you can do? What are the things that you want to do that you're like, I can do this? And just take some notes when you've got that coming up. What does it feel like? And you can see I'm doing this right along with you. I'm taking my notes down. And again, just breathe that in. These are the things that you intend to be competent in. These are the way that it feels for you. You want to bring that into your life. And so let's say it one more time. Let's say it out to the universe. I am competent. Breathe that in. So mote it be. And now we turn, and again, we pay attention to the line of the pentacle or the pentagram under our feet. And now we're going to walk from the air point down to the fire point. And we notice that maybe it's getting a little easier to get from one point to the other, but we've walked now from the air point to the fire point. And again, fire has so many different aspects to it, but the one we're going to focus on tonight is courage. Courage. And so we'll say again to the universe 3 times, I am courageous. I am courageous. I am courageous. And take a moment for your inner self to pull up energy, pull up feelings and images and sounds and of what that means for you. What does it mean for you to be courageous? What is it in your life that you need to be courageous about? What do you need to pull up that inner courage? And just take a few notes. And again, just breathe that in. All of that, just breathe it into yourself. And let's say one more time, I am courageous. So mote it be. And now we turn and we walk up from the fire point up to the spirit point, back to where we started, to the spirit point of the pentagram. And here at this spirit point of the pentagram, the energy from all the other points flows through the pentagram and up to the spirit point. And this is where we can be fully authentic. We can be fully who we are. We can be who we are in all of our glory, in all of our messiness, in all of our humanness. We are here and we are whole. And so we're going to say out into the universe, I am myself. I am myself. I am myself. Just take a moment to breathe that in. Oh. As you breathe that in, your inner self starts to pull up all these images and feelings and just everything that like shows you what does it mean to be fully, brilliantly, authentically yourself. And here's a little trick that even if you don't believe what your inner self is showing you, write it down anyway. Like if it's showing you something brilliantly beautiful and you're like, nah, that's not me. Your inner self is showing you something gorgeous. You, fully yourself, write that down. Oh, and just take a deep breath in. Oh. And let's say it one more time. I am myself. So mote it be. Now on this piece of paper next to you, you've got probably a whole bunch of chicken scratch and words and maybe some pictures and little doodles and stuff that they don't have to mean anything to anybody but you. And hold this piece of paper in your hands and allow yourself, all the levels of yourself, to look at this, to trace your journey around the pentagram, saying, I am successful. I am connected. I am competent. I am courageous. And I am fully myself. And take a deep breath in. Just breathe all of that in. And then breathe it right onto your paper. And then take your paper and fold it. Just fold it up. Till it's a manageable size. It doesn't have to be teensy tiny. It doesn't have to be neat. Just so it's easy to deal with. And after this meditation together, after this live stream, take this piece of paper, put it in your fire safe container, and burn it. Burn it till it's ash. And you can do that anytime between the end of this broadcast till 4:54 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. And let's just take a moment to give thanks. Let's give thanks to our ancestors and our spirits, our guides, our gods and goddesses that we called in. Let's give them thanks for being with us. Let's give thanks to the elements of earth, fire, water, air, and spirit. Let's give thanks to our inner selves that gave us the images and the feelings that we were able to use to put into this spell. And let us give thanks to the moon above us, and give thanks to earth beneath our feet. And now that eggshell that we had around us, just imagine that dissolves, and that you can bring that energy back into you. If you want to let it come into you or come next to you and flow down into the earth. But you don't need that boundary right now anymore. You can just let it go. Take a deep breath in. Blessed be, so mote it be. Thank you. Thank you for being here tonight, and thank you for doing this working with me. I invite you to leave feedback in the comments below and share your experience. I also invite you to shoot me an email or a private message. Let me know how this worked for you, and how these come true for you within the next month or so. Also, I would love for you to click the like button subscribe to the channel, and share this video when it's posted. Especially, I mean, if you got something out of it and you like it, like share it out. Share it out. If you have found value in tonight's meditation and spell working, and if you'd like to support the work of Connect DC, I invite you to donate to Connect DC through the donate button on our website. And our website's really easy to remember. It's connectdc.org. And you can also find all of our events for the rest of 2022 there as well. I do have a couple of upcoming events I want to let you know about. October's Dark Moon Message with Katrina Messenger will be live streaming on Tuesday, October 25th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And so you can see that either here, you can see that on Facebook, but you can also see it on YouTube. I'm not sure where people are watching us tonight. And then I also want to invite folks who are in the greater Washington, Baltimore area to come to our in-person Samhain ritual on Sunday, October 30th at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And that's at Two Rivers Sanctuary in Washington, D.C. Yes, I think that was all the announcements I had for this evening. So now I just will say, go out, do your work, burn these little bad boys, send that thought and these intentions out to the universe on the wave of the Aries lunar energy. May the gods be with you. Blessed be, and peace.